Hello, everyone. We are joined by once again by LohaN from Team Liquid coming in today after their game against Karmine Corp. Firstly, commiserations on the loss. I know that it was a bit of a rough victory, but it was an incredibly close game throughout, I
Yeah,
would say. And now that anyway, last game you guys did lock in playoffs. So, firstly, how are you feeling about getting that direct buff to the playoffs, having that little bit of a break, and your performance after that first game where you were playing as a pro player?
I feel quite happy. And this year again, it's been a lot of ups and downs. Coming now into the first split, in the first game of the split, playing with me, it was a rough patch. Then we bounced back, and it felt good coming to this game with already playoffs, secured. We didn't really came into this game with a mentality we need to win, but we also wanted to win, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, it was a fun game, honestly. I loved watching this game. It's really good to get challenged, and I think ACS are playing a very unique Valorant right now, and it's good. There's so much to learn from this game. It's really good.
Hmm. Talking about KC and their playstyle, they had a whole roster rebuild coming in ahead of this stage. So how do you think the new KC feels compared to the old one in terms of playstyle, in terms of comps? Because you sound very like complimentary of them just now. I'd love to hear more.
No, it feels good. Honestly, they're actually playing a quite similar playstyle to us, and I think maybe them as maybe BBL as well. Plays obviously there's some slight changes here and there, but I think they did a wonderful work, honestly, and it's up to them. I mean, I do believe that today's game could go either way. Honestly, if
Hmm.
we repeat this game, maybe we win 50% of the games, maybe they win 50% of the games. But I mean, it's commendable, to start a year like this. I think they went 0-5 in groups last in stage one, right?
Something like that,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, that's up to them. It's not easy to make those changes, those shift changes, and they managed to do it, and good on them, honestly.
Hmm. Talking about your game today, I mean, map number two, I mean, everybody, even the casters were saying it looks like a 2-0, but then you guys made that insane comeback. So, first question, did Nats give any of his usual speeches, or was anyone giving any speeches at any point? And second question, what
Yeah,
exactly do you think was it? Was it just confidence after winning those rounds? Was it the op from Purpo? What do you think were the key factors?
I think they prepared a good ante for our defense side, and we started defense, I think, down 4-1 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um, we obviously there's still quite a lot of things from our playbook that we're not changing certain maps. And I mean, we just make a basic adjustments on defense that we understood what was uh, the counter to what they were doing, and it worked. I don't think there was like anything out of ordinary. I think the today the vibes were good. I know, like maybe the first map we started quite off, a bit uncomfortable on the
Mm-hmm.
server, but even the second map, even though we were down like I think 11-7 or something like that. Uh,
11-6, yeah,
11-6 or 11-6.
I think.
There's nothing changed. We just make the necessary adjustments on the server, on the setups, and understand what were the win conditions for the way they were approaching attack side, and it worked. And we start obviously gaining more and more momentum and feeling a bit more confident on the server.
Yeah, I mean, we could really see that confidence coming through. So no speeches, just a normal day at work.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I was just kind of curious. All right, and I think that when I talked to you in the beginning of the stage after your first game against Eternal Fire, you said that the chemistry is really good on the team. But now that you've been playing through for the whole of the group stage, I wanted to ask you if you had to say one thing that your two newest players bring to the team. Well, how would you describe it? Like if you had to give them each like one major thing that they do that makes the team better.
yeah. And I think it's knowledge and stability. I think Trax brings a lot of knowledge into the game and good reads. Even on a summit, he was bringing a lot of good reads on defense, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a major factor on that win. And Kimi or the Kicks, I keep
Kicks.
forgetting the nicknames because I don't call them by nicknames. He brings a lot of stability to the team. He puts team first over himself, and it's very important to have a player like that in the team.
That's really wholesome. I love hearing that. All right, so
Yeah.
now that you had a pretty successful group stage and you have a bit of a break, how are you gonna? What are the things you're gonna be working on as a team most during the break? I know you can't tell me everything, but if you want to tell me like
Yeah.
some things.
I think I mean there's a lot to work on. Again, I'm super happy with this game, to be honest. I was kind of afraid that we'll, to come today and have another easy game. Which I mean, I was not. It's not that I was expecting. I know it's going to be an hard game, but I really didn't want to come into this game and be like, a 13-6, 13-6 or something like that, because I do believe that we need to learn. There's a lot of things to improve, and you only learn when you're losing, right? If you're just winning, you don't really understand the gaps. And I think the most important thing is from this game, just learn from it, understand what adjustments you need to do, and I'm quite sure this game itself will make us a stronger week with at playoffs than if you'd come today and just win easy. So I'm quite happy with today's game, to be honest.
Fair enough. I mean, I think it was a really fun game to watch. A lot of heart attacks, a lot of
Yeah,
interesting rounds. Yeah. So a bit more of a casual question, but how does it feel
yeah.
to come back to the coaching boot after your retirement? Has your time playing on stage given you any insights about how to be a better coach? I'm genuinely curious about this.
Yeah, obviously it does. I mean, I still play the game even obviously while I coach. I still like
What's like
play
your
ranked
main?
here and there.
What's your main?
I mean, I just like to play either duelist or initiator, honestly. In ranked, obviously. In team environment, maybe initiator, I would say. But so yeah, Sentinel is definitely not my role. But I mean, I still play the game because I think it's important to play the game even when you're a coach. So you are, obviously it's not the same. But the 3 days coming to that official game where I played, I think it was a very good learning experience for me, and even being on stage as well, because it put me in the position of a player, and sometimes as a coach you tend to look at things through different lenses. So you kind of forget how it feels to be a player. And it's very, very important for me to understand how they feel when the game is, for example, in situations where, okay, we're not in control of the game, we need to gain momentum, stuff like that. I think it puts me in a position of, looking at the players from a different perspective. And I think it helped me a lot as a coach as well. It makes me improve individually and get better at my job. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, and it's also kind of wholesome. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so in the beginning, I remember when I talked to you in the beginning of the stage, you mentioned that two teams that you expected to do really well were Vitality and Navi. So looking at the results now, across EMEA, who do you think are gonna be the teams making it to champions?
I mean, one of them is doing good, right? It's just Vitality. The other one, a bit of. I had a bit false hopes after the first game that I saw from them, but
Maybe they can bring it
I
back, I
don't
guess.
know. It's hard to actually make a prediction. Even like teams like Fnatic, Heretics are super inconsistent right now. Footballist as well, I think they're a heavy momentum team. In a good day, they can. I think it's so close between everyone. I think for KC as well, obviously, like I think they're on a really like upswing. So it's super hard to have any sort of predictions right now. Hopefully, we are one of the teams that gets there and can qualify for champs. We'll work for it. And I mean, in terms of predictions, I actually cannot. There's so many good teams, right? Not so many good teams. It's like that. It's like it's very inconsistent right now. That I would say,
I
like
mean, I
the way
think
teams are playing.
I was writing an article about the circuit points, and I think EMEA is one of the regions that actually has a lot of teams that are very close for circuit points. So there's actually every single
Yeah,
win matters in stage two. Like other regions, there's like three teams, and everybody else is at six single digit points. So, but
yeah. It's so close right now. Let's see. Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. All right, back to Summit. I also remember you told me that you really hated the curved walls. Do you still hate them?
Well, the curved walls.
Curved angles, like.
I think I'm getting a bit more used to it. No, the map is a fun map. It's a fun map. We liked it. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, and talking about your team comp and the team comp that KC were also running, it seemed like in the beginning, I felt like their Viper was really having an impact on your team, and you were kind of struggling to deal with the utility coming from it. And also, I think the lack of the Sentinel was also a little bit of an issue. So, do you think these are just
Yeah.
problems that were because of KC's comp individually, or just because of how the map is?
Yeah, we already knew that. I mean, we don't have that many ramps against Viper comps, but we already knew that playing against double controller, we would struggle a bit more because since we play no Sentinel on the map, since we lack information on the map, we need to have good protocols against it. So we were prepared, not as prepared as I would like us to be, and I think even myself could have make small adjustments to the start of the our game plan for the start of the defense side. I think I was not one step ahead, and we had to make those changes mid game, mid side, and yeah.
And talking about mid in particular, what do you think is the when it comes to Summit? I feel like mid control is like a key necessity of the map, so as to speak. So, what do you think is the best way to kind of fight for it? I'm just asking because I'm curious. I really struggle with the map.
I
Help.
mean, maybe I have a different POV, but I don't think mid is as important as teams are making it to be.
Oh, okay.
It is important, but with good executes, I think you can still exploit the sides. You can still obviously pay for mid and fight for mid, and obviously, but there's so many different compositions right now that teams are running.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I truly believe that you can play the map attack side without mid control, or I mean, more straight to executes, and even defense. You know, the fact that you can close the doors and there's only like two chokes from the mid that you can scale into the sides. I think it's quite similar to bind, I would say.
Oh.
In terms of obviously we don't have the TPs, right? Uh, but I would say it's for me it makes if I'll have to compare it with something, I'll maybe compare it with bind, and bind was never uh, obviously it's nothing like bind in terms of like the
No, no,
looks of the map, right?
I think I get what you're trying to say.
But
Anyway,
yeah,
makes
yeah, and
sense.
yeah, I think the map can be. I think any approach for the map right now has their pros and cons, and I think a lot of teams are still discovering it. And I don't think there's a proper meta, and hopefully in the maybe in champs we'll figure out what's the proper way of playing the map.
100%. I hope we get to see you figuring it out there as well. Anyway, thank you so much, Lohan. We'll talk to
Yeah,
you hopefully again during the playoffs and stuff. But yeah, see you for playoffs and good luck for it.
yeah. Thank you. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.